got to start somewhere. And when it comes to love, it's going to have to start with something higher, a higher power. So my story starts out with a higher power, my higher power, my love story with him, and then through him learning how to love myself. That's right, this is a love story. That's why it's unconventional. It's about my spiritual journey, which started at birth. This is a story about my journey, the long walk home to self. As somebody who went through so many things against all odds and making it. It's a story of challenge and fight, inspiration. It's a type of encouragement and motivational story, a healing story, a story that's meant to give back, a story filled with testimony of God, of wisdom, and it comes from me to you. If you want to stick around, wonderful. If you want to know why, you should check out video 2. First 30 minutes I dedicate to that. I can just say this, it is part of my soul's mission. I'm an earth angel. I'm an anointed, chosen child of God. And I'm a messenger of God. And I was set here on earth to do very specific things, big things. But in order to get to them, I had to go through a lot of things in order to get there. It was a big calling, which required a lot of sacrifice, a lot of pruning, and a lot of preparation, which is all talked about, but it will be, if it hasn't been already, talked about within my story. Again, hi, my name is Samantha Eagles, and I do swear, so it's one thing I do. Yes, I am a chosen child. I am an earth angel, and I do swear. There are a lot of myths about what an earth angel or a chosen one should look like, but there are chosen children, a new breed that God has put forth on our earth, and I'm one of the originals. I was forged in darkness and sealed in light, and what that means is just quite simply that I was forged in the underworld, and I was sealed in light. Meaning that I have the support of everything. Just everything. Why? Because a lot of people, because I am a messenger of God, give me a hard time. And that's to be expected. They're jealous, they're envious, and there are a lot of low, I wouldn't say that the people themselves, because they're being used by demons. Like this SUV passing me. They just gave me some harassment. But it's the demons that take over them. See, we can all be used as vessels, and I am being used as a vessel by divine. So I'm was trying to run to the store to get dinner. And I wanted to do this on my way home. Sometimes I get away with doing these things and I have no problems, and other times I have problems. Maybe the rest of this trip will be quiet. Nevertheless, you choose. I know I don't look like anything that I've been through. All of this has been talked about, but I do talk about it in multiple videos. Why? Because if you're new to this channel, and you might look at me and be like, yeah, okay, you've been through things. This is my anointing. When you're a chosen, anointed child of God, you get covered by anointings to help you fight. When you're fighting huge amounts of battles and your calling is big. Like I just said, I had 4 different vehicles, 4 different groupings of people harassing me on the freeway. And when you have that kind of thing, and you have people giving you a hard time for no good reason other than they're envious or they're jealous, or they just don't like you. These are reasons for an anointing to be kicking in. Okay? It kicks in to cover me and to give me extra help. So, yes, I'm aware I don't look like anything I've been through. I know that. I know that. I know. I also know that it doesn't matter, because I know my story. I've heard. My story is very simple. I've been through more than most people, and it started right out of the womb. I mean, right at childbirth, and I'll be 50 this year. So my journey is about 50 years long. Nevertheless, today, you know, I moved out of a hard cycle of gang stalking. And there are still some lower vibrational people that don't want to let go. And yes, gang stalking is actually directly connected to spiritual warfare. For many chosen children, if you are a chosen child, you're most likely targeted. And I've spoken on this in multiple videos. I know I was. There are people out there that knew more about me than I knew about me, and my gifts, my skill sets, and my spiritual journey. And these people, these groups, these societies and cults, they will spend amazing amounts of time and money and other forms of abundance to follow these people their whole lives to, again, make sure that these people aren't imposing in their lives, but B, to follow them on their journey and their development to make sure that they don't ever find out who they are. And then C, the plan for most of these chosen children from the societies is they take their gifts from them and their abundance and their inheritances, if they can. And sometimes that works out and sometimes that doesn't. And with chosen ones, it would never work out. I mean, you may forge a weapon, but it will never prosper. But there are other people, other individuals, other less fortunate children of God or whatever higher power you might be under, that it has. Karmics who claim to be religious. So, nevertheless, I have cleared out a cycle here, and it was a large one. And these people are still trying to cause issue with me whenever I leave well, I'm currently homeless, but I've been living in a hotel for 4 years, and they're trying like heck to make it to where I don't ever get out of that hotel. I'm getting out. I mean, God has me getting out. I have me getting out. I'm getting out of that hotel with my kid. I'm getting a job. I'm getting out. I'm getting married. I mean, I'm going to be doing everything everybody else is doing. I'm going to be living my life purpose. I mean, the delays are over. The atrocities that I've suffered, and many people suffer, are uncalled for. If you've suffered anything, well, any of this stuff, then I could probably help. If you've been molested, raped, if you've been within a domestic violence situation, either romantic or familial, if you've had somebody threaten to kill you, if you've been beaten, bloodied, emotionally, mentally, physically abused, if you've been neglected in any singular way, if you're a single parent, if you've been homeless, jobless, foodless, bullied, if people have purposefully made you this way, if they purposefully made you homeless, purposefully bullied you into homelessness, joblessness, if they purposefully blocked you from gaining access to state aids to help you along. If they've stolen your mail, federal offenses. I'm currently going through that. I'm currently going through these things, but I've just closed this cycle out, so I am in a place where I am going to be working to rectify these matters. If you've been harassed, defamed, slandered, if you've had your identity stolen, if you've dealt with alcoholism, drug addiction, smoking, anything, any kind of drugs within yourself or within a family unit, if you've dealt with body image issues, obesity, bulimia, or any other on the spectrum, if you're on the spectrum, if you're neurodivergent in any way, shape, or form, if you have low self-esteem issues, if you have low value, if you don't know your worth, if you suffer from suicidal ideations, if harming yourself, if self-harm is something you've done, cutting, burning in private, if life seems to overwhelm you, if people constantly put you down, not only in your family, but in your friend group, or in your community, or city, or even larger, statewide, or within the government, you feel targeted. If you feel like you're being followed by drones, or airplanes, or videotaped, or pictures taken of you, if you're feeling followed, if you wake up with headaches or bruises, or if you recognize patterns, constant patterns, and you can tell by the patterns that something's going on, if different races of people seem to be involved in something around you, something feels off. Why is any of this significant? Well, during my 50 years, I managed to get multiple different educational experiences under my belt. One is my master's in counseling with a specialization in alternative medicine and therapies, where I focused in on the mind-body, how the mind affects the body and the emotions affect the body, and how optimism affects the body, and positive thinking helps bolster manifestation. I focused and honed in on Eastern medicine over Western medicine, and then I got certifications in writing as well as in, spiritual laws, among which the law of attraction was there, life coaching, and you betcha, tarot. So I am self-taught in these areas as well. I've been a quick study and learn in all metaphysical arts since 5th grade. So I was born a psychic medium. Right out the gate, I'm Native American from a line of shamans. I heal through my hands and through my voice. I've always known this since I was way little. Why? I was told by God. I've been talking with God since I was little. Like I said, I was born and I had my first woundings right out of the womb. My father wasn't even present at my birth, and my mother wouldn't hold me. And I'm learning now that I could be adopted, and nobody ever told me. Crib cards. When kids are born, each crib in the nursery has a card on it Well, back in the 70s when I was born, they were handwritten. At least in Germany they were, which is where I was told I was born. And my father was in the service, you see, and he was serving overseas at the time. And I happened to one day in the middle of my teenage life, or prepubescent life, while I was looking through pictures with my mother, I came across this card, and I seen it with my physical eyes. And I picked it up, and I held it in my hands. So I got to touch this card. I got to see this card, and I do recall, I do believe it was pink. But this I cannot guarantee. But it was a card, and it had 2 names on it. 2 last names. If you've had people reject you and abandon you, deceive you, lie to you, walk away from you, leave you unread, ghost you, gossip about you, destroy you for no reason that you're aware of, then you're in the right place. I've had all these experiences that I've listed, and many of them I have healed, and if I haven't healed, I'm healing. And it's my mission, part of my soul mission, soul purpose, to testify on them and share how I healed them with the world, because I was never helped. In my life, not one person helped me. So it's my honor to be able to give this back. It's what I wanted. And there's one specific time, the last time I was homeless, during my master's, when I was made homeless. I remember saying through tears and anger and frustration to Divine, I said to him, when I'm capable, I want to be able to help people, like in a way that nobody's ever helped me. Because I always felt like I fell through the cracks. And I did. There went a Tesla with a young African-American male who had something in his lap. He was texting while he drove by. Just saying. And the car before that went by, it was an Indian couple. Why do these things matter? I was told both were gang stalkers. I'm in constant contact with God. And I'm currently got people, I call them people, they're family. I'm surrounded by my angels and ancestors. I'm very protected. I can't tell you how many times people have tried to unalive me in my lifetime. It's heartbreaking because I don't understand, outside of me being close to God, why people would want to do that. Other than things that make them look really bad, like they're really jealous and envious, which is crazy in my mind. But okay, I give that to God. So my unconditional love story, I've not always been this woman. The woman I am today is somebody who will call you out. I will. I have no problem whatsoever. None. Drawing a firm boundary. None. There was a time when I would have remained soft and quiet. And I love that woman too. And she's still here, but you have to earn her, and she doesn't play the same role. She's only a part of my immediate family, meaning the husband that will be coming in and my children. And any soul tribe that comes in. That, and I hold space to change that definition. Right now, that's the worked out definition. But through my experiences, I'm in a vehicle right now that I busted butt. This is the first vehicle I ever bought on my own. And I do mean I did it homeless, where I had to Uber back and forth to a job that I was well overqualified for. I have a master's in counseling, and I took a lunch lady position for $13 an hour. But I knew I needed a job or a car, so I took whatever job I could and I Ubered back and forth to this position to buy this vehicle. And I was very proud of myself. Now it's not the best vehicle, no. But it was what I could do, and God helped me do it. And that made me proud. And significance of bringing this vehicle up is the fact that I told one specific friend, well, I thought this person was a friend, come to find out that they weren't. And the gang stalking started because of this friend. Or not friend. Back in 2024, August and November, right after my birthday, this vehicle started getting hit. It was a target, this vehicle. And this vehicle since November of 2011 has been hit 10 times by 10 different gang stalkers. Meaning I was a target. I don't think they were targeting just the vehicle. I think they were trying to unalive me. I just heard yes. I'm very lucky and grateful to God every day and every way for my life. And that every time this vehicle has had some damage done to it, God has always allowed me to turn that key in the ignition and it started up. Or God would give me the money and the person to provide the car services, the fixing. It was never too much until it was. This last time in January and February was the straw that broke the camel's back, because God was sending a message that I needed to leave the job, which was overran with gang stalkers. Everybody at the job was harassing me, stealing from me, and bullying me. Again, I have a counseling master's, and I was being forced into DoorDash. And What does that even mean? I'm sure you're wondering. Why didn't you just get a different job? Oh, I tried. Trust me. But when you have a bunch of adults who have connections, they block you. We're talking adults with connections, acting very corrupt. When I started getting gang stalked in 2024, I actually knew then that the police were involved. I knew when my identity was stolen in 2021 that the police were involved, because they shut down the case within the week of it happening. And I know who did it. I know who did it. I know who stole my identity. I know who's bullied and harassed me. Who's defamed me. And these people are not just nobodies. These are people with positions that are professional. They have connections. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've been told that my story could be a movie or a book. I would agree. It's not the aim, but that's how crazy my life has been. Like I said, at 50, even though I don't look it right now, I'm sitting in a car that's been hit 10 times. I didn't go home because I live in a hotel. I just got out of a cycle of gang stalking. I'm trying to clean that up and get myself into my soul mission. With the help of God. And I still have people from the gang stalking hanging on, trying so hard against all odds to delay me even more from doing this. Here comes the Tesla guy again. There he goes. 50JB74 is the license plate. Just noting. Black Tesla. Young African American male with dreads down to here. He took a right onto Marketplace Circle. And now he's turning into Myers. They all turn into Myers. There's something about Myers. They sit in Myers' parking lot in the one corner and they gang stalk from it. They do. There is a gang stalking corner at Myers, and they all sit in there because my hotel's right next door to Myers, which is a grocery store. Nevertheless, here's the airplane. So, you know, the purpose of me bringing up any of this is, it's over. Like I've said before, if you haven't gotten the memo, get it now. with love. Get it now. I really don't need to do much else because God will handle you. And He will. I mean, when God wants somebody in a certain position, there is nothing you're going to do to stop that. Nothing. And there's no amount of karmic transference that's going to happen now. No destiny swapping that's going to happen now. None of that. All mimicking and is being stopped. All of it. The people who are running businesses out of my name, off of my name, all the houses that were bought illegally under me, all the lines of credit, all of that stopped. Why? Because all of that I'm calling back to me. That's mine. It's mine. There's only one me. And all that energy, all that abundance, it's mine. Not yours. And I know you want my abundance, but you need to go make your own. And I wish you well with that. I know you can't go where I'm going. And no, I don't think I'm better. I know you like to project that outward. Remember, you got yourself here. You forget. Don't forget yourself. You guys are the ones that started all of this. You're the ones that started picking on an innocent person who didn't do anything to deserve it. And now that I'm found my voice and I'm trying to leave, you're mad. And you're trying to turn it around and make it sound like I'm the bad person. You even got people out here trying to make up stuff on me. Trying to find receipts on me, whatever the hell that means. I just call it making up garbage on people. No. Blocked. Why? There's nothing. I'm the most boring person. I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I've been celibate almost 15 years. No boyfriend, no sex. I eat and I swear. Everything else has been taken by you guys. And I'm speaking to the gang stalker people. And the people who claim to love me. All these fake people. The people who are mad that I'm going anywhere. Who are out here causing me a bunch of problems. And even strangers who really don't even know me. Who don't fact check. I hold space and grace. I really do, but don't go trying to start issues. You want to know why? They're just going to fall back on you. I was already told that all this stuff you're doing with the receipt stuff, it's failed. It's a big fat failure. Okay, for you in the black truck. You want to see something? Right. This guy just parked. Yeah, why don't you wave? Say hi. That's going to go all over the internet today when I'm done. But it's not like I caused any of this. I was born. There's what I did. I was born, and if the whole adoption thing's true, I was born into a a family that didn't want me. And they knew stuff about me, and so they did spell work. We're talking about dark magic now, to make sure my whole life was horrible and forgotten. And it is what it is. I mean, I did whatever. I did whatever. I did what I had to do. Like I said, I hold grace and space. I only have issues with people who are still trying to cause issues. But even with that, it's like I already know too with this that just this morning, God, it was told to me that no weapon, that these weapons might be forged, so a weapon can be a plan, right? But they'll never prosper. You know? So these people, they can do whatever they want. And they can. They can go out there. These cops, these lawyers, these judges, they can lie, they can continue to, or military people or whatever. These official people, well, I'm official too. I also have very high degrees and lots of training, and in spirit, I'm very high ranking. Higher than you. I just heard amen, and I'm getting tingling up both my legs. 444 on my timer. 7 was the last number. But it doesn't really matter. You can say whatever the heck you want to say. Because at the end of the day, forge your weapon, it will not prosper. It won't. Why? Because I'm a good person. And I'm sane. And I am somebody who can, my story's provable. I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not the only one that these people have harmed. There's a long record of people that these people have harmed. And the very moment these other people start reaching out, and little do you guys know if they have or have not. Well, remember, I'm a medium. I speak with dead people too. I'm a channel. I can speak with just anything. Very special gift given to me by God, right there. I can speak with anything in the universe. Other species, you name it. In May, was it May of 2025? I spoke with the Federation, Galactic Federation, Ashtar, direct, to whom I love, honor, and respect. I'm Pleiadian. And I see nothing wrong with that. Again, I've spoken on that in a few videos too. Many people have something against aliens, ETs, starseeds. And then there are groups that don't. Listen, folks. More than most people have this in them. Just saying. If you think you're straight humanoid, alone, the chances are there, but there's more of a chance, that you're not. You want to know how big the universe is and how many ETs there are? The Creator is very creative. You're talking to an ancient soul. I think we know, 10 species? If I recall, 10? There are many more other than that. And I'm getting tingling through my legs. It's because we can't live long enough as humanoids to get to them. And we haven't learned of them and where they are at. But some of us know of others. And there are some divine masculines too that know, that even I'm connected to. And I don't even know how I know this, but I do. Clairsentience. I know a lot of things I don't even know how I know. That's because I'm good with Kasha, and I have all my clairs, and I'm directly connected to God. I'm a channel, I'm a prophet, a medium, a healer, a spiritual teacher. I work with ascended masters. Jesus is my mentor. And maybe people don't like that. Too bad. It's not my problem. This sounds like a you problem. Please go deal with it. Stop putting that in my face. We all have things. Many of you have fucking awesome gifts. Do you see me sitting around here hooing and hawing and getting all up in your business about the things you're awesome at? No, usually I am applauding people for the things they're good at. But then, the thing is in my life, I have never gotten the applause back. What it's been is this: I will support you as long as you're not as good as me. You have to be less than me. And even then, my support will only be, it will be limited. That's been my experience. So if that's been your experience, then you're in the right place. There's only been one person in my life who's really given me full support, and it was tempered when she started drinking, and that was my mother. And my mother, she passed away this last year. I never got to say goodbye. I wasn't allowed to go to her funeral. My family completely, they betrayed me in the deepest, harshest way. Very brutal. But she was, the one person in this world who embraced me, or she tried real hard, regardless if she was my biological mother or not. She came around to really loving me, and I know this for fact. I keep getting some sort of download like she sacrificed herself for me. talk to Divine on it. I'm getting a little bit of tingling. Again, that's something I gotta talk with my father over. I don't know if it's real. Because here's one of the spiritual warfare tactics, is they love to throw up illusions and make me confused, and chaos magic, of course, so to keep me confused. But I truly believe that they played a role in my mother's death and the downfall of my whole family and the parting of ways of me and my family. It's just my belief. Nothing I've been able to prove yet. Last time I spoke on fear. This time I was it was just a whatever comes up topic. And the topic mainly was basically an update of where I'm at. I've been doing a lot of healing in terms of working on the reprogramming of my mindset and releasing. It's time to move forward. Strength, you know. People have asked, how is she so fearless? But another one I've heard is, how is she so strong? Because I had to be. And there are people that, I'm sure, specifics in my family that would be like, she's not strong. And that's because they didn't even live at home. They only see what they want to see. They see old versions of me. But from the start, you're looking at somebody, like I said, who was wounded right at birth. My father was not even there, so there's abandonment. My mother would not hold me, so there's rejection. I was placed in a crib and I cried until I realized nobody was coming to help me. So I stopped. God told me I quit crying. And I'm getting chills. So I quit crying that day in my crib. When you realize people aren't going to come to help or soothe you or be there for you, you just learn to depend on you and your higher power, because God was there. Divine Mother was there. Jesus was there when I was born. My family, my spirit family was there. 5733. which is 12, which is 333. And they've never left. Real strength doesn't come from having to do it all by yourself. Sometimes strength is having to ask others for help. Strength comes from doing the thing that makes you step outside your comfort zone. Strength requires courage, confidence, bravery in the face of everything that makes your knees knock. So it's directly connected to that fear. Facing your fear makes you stronger. And I've gotten very good at facing fear, because I wasn't given a choice, and I did it very quickly and over and on repeat. Like I said, I've been hit 10 times, and you know what I did? I tangoed with the devil. I'm not about to let a bunch of people bully me in my vehicle and think they're going to get away with it. People started getting little notes from me and God and my spirit team and my ancestors not to mess with me in my car. Strength requires consistency, commitment. It requires awareness. Sometimes strength is very quiet. It's not always roaring. It's soft. Sometimes strength is a mother on the first day she's taken the training wheels off that bike and watching her child ride away, and she really wants to stay with him, pulling back and letting him go. So she detaches, and that takes strength to do, because you're scared your child's gonna hurt themselves, fall down. Just an example. In life, I'm sure you can think of tons of things that built up your strength and character. For me, one of the things that built mine was being asked to be my mother's caretaker. And then she became terminal with alcoholism. After almost, it felt like forever, like 5 to 10 years of dealing with the alcohol and abuse. Within that time frame, her and my father had abused me. My father had threatened to kill me. Her and my dad were at each other, hitting each other and everything else. Verbal fights, physical fights. It was crazy, the amount of toxicity. And then what they did at my master's, when they didn't even celebrate my master's degree. We are a family who typically holds celebrations, and there was no celebration for me when I graduated with my master's. In fact, when I walked out of commencements, I walked out alone. My family had left, and they took my kid with them. I walked out crying with a $20 bill I found on the ground because of God and Archangel Michael, Divine Mother, Metatron, Raphael. Many of my grandma was there, Neha, multiple. I had a very large group of my ancestors. Go to Starbucks. So I did. I sopped up the tears, and in the outfit I bought specifically for my graduation that I was so proud to wear. I went and got that coffee drink from Starbucks. But I'll never forget coming out of that ceremony and seeing, other students getting hugs, and students, male students having their fathers shake their hands and their mothers hugging them, and so proud that they're crying, and friends, student friends holding their degrees up together, getting photos, and I'm crying, walking very slowly to my car, and I'm hiding it. Masked behind a very big smile. I'm happy for these folks. I'm not unhappy for these folks. But I'm recognizing hugely what happened to me, the injustice here. Because just a year before my father graduated with his master's, and he had a humongous blowout that we were all forced to attend, and there were pictures, and he got drunk, and the reason they weren't there for mine, they all went up north to get drunk with my brother, at my brother's. The moment I got home with my Starbucks, they left. And so, yeah, my best friend didn't show up. She was supposed to come. She canceled. It was very sad. So, I can say this. My journey has taught me all about reciprocity. Who belongs in my life, who doesn't belong in my life. And the journey, the one thing with my mother taking that on was it allowed for redemption. I was asked to care for her, and I did. even after all that abuse, because it allowed us to heal. Because she's the one that made me homeless. Not my father, my mother. And she was very, very, very ruthless. She did the whole Cinderella bit where she ripped she literally ripped my clothes like I was wearing. It was June, and I was wearing a halter, and she ripped a strap, and I had scratches down on my skin and stuff. She had drawn blood. She beat me. Grown child, and my mother beat me. With my son in my hands, she beat me. With my son right there, in my arms, I was holding him. She kicked me out of the house. And she wouldn't let me come back in. I strapped my son in my car. And I needed to get my purse. I needed to get food, clothes, money. I had $46 to my name. How I remember that still, I'll never know. But that's all I had. $46. And a ripped shirt with blood on it. It was plum color. It had little rhinestones on it. And she would not let me come back in. My stuff was all in there, and she would not let me come back in. And the version of me now would have gotten the police involved, and they would have forced her to let me come in. She didn't have a right to do that to me, or Christopher. But I didn't know any better then. So away I went, homeless, in the car that night with my kid, and $46. And I tried to call my sister, who blamed me. I was at Target thinking about all the things I needed to buy my son. How we didn't have any clothes. I didn't have a shirt. I was looking through clearance, trying to buy a shirt for myself, hoping to get something for $5 or less. Couldn't believe I was having to buy a shirt with $46 to my name. Nevertheless, in the end, she wound up giving herself alcoholism. And I wound up working with the state to be her caretaker. And in doing that, the healing journey began between us. And I don't regret any of it, because I know my mom, underneath all of that addiction. For anybody who has addictions, you must know that that's not really you. The real you's underneath all of that. See, when you're with people when you meet somebody who drinks, you're not really meeting them. That's why when you meet somebody and start dating somebody who's an alcoholic, and let's say they quit, typically that relationship ends. Because you're like, who are you afterward? They're like, why? I don't even know why I'm with you. I mean, I don't mean to be mean about that. 9 times out of 10, a lot of relationships won't make it after rehabilitation, because it's like a whole new world. I mean, it's because part of rehabilitation with addictions is this, and this is just straight facts. You don't just have to let go of the substance. You have to let go of the people that were involved with the substance, the situations, and the places. You've got to find a new friend group. And if this involves family, then you let that family go. If this, and I mean that. And yeah, that might sound tough. You're talking to somebody who doesn't talk to her family. I haven't in years. And that does not make me a bad person. That makes me somebody who loves herself. And there's nothing wrong with loving yourself. Jesus loved himself. Any of these great people, Confucius, Buddha, any of those solo people loved themselves, and they did great things, and didn't have the greatest of relations with pretty much anybody until they did. But they were people they chose that came along later that understood them. And when it comes to addictions, you'll find that you can't fully release an addiction until you release everything involved with it. And that includes the people and the places and the things. Period. It's hard to say, be like, I quit smoking, and then let's say your whole family smokes too, and you're around them 24/7. Do you think you're really? It's going to be so much harder for you to stay quit. Not that you can't. I'm just saying, as a counselor, it's harder. And the challenge is extra special for you. But you're talking to somebody who's chosen, who has quit smoking cold turkey, who quit the drinking, and I have done some drugs. I quit those things as well. So now, when it comes to other people who do it, and they've hurt you, forgiveness is how you release them. And when it's your family, that would apply. Now, my mom, she's a little bit of a special case because she was dying anyway. And I talked, and my God seen my heart. He knew I wanted to work it with her. He knew that we had a special relationship. He knew that she loved me. He knew that she tried. She did. She tried. She tried to understand me. She tried to support me, even with her addictions. So we worked that out, and I'm certain that those of you out there, I'm sure I'm not the only one who has things like this. Nevertheless, I'm yapping. Forgiveness is really important, though. Forgiveness of self and of others. And I've spoke on this. I think if it wasn't last video, it might have been the one before, though. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call that good for now. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Make it a good one. Okay, I love you. And I do, I really do. May blessings flow to you and through you. and always, always be well.